What's up, everybody? How you doing? It's your boy Trax on this fantastic Taco Tuesday. About ready to break this down in a big old word salad edition of freaking what the hell just happened today. Oh my gosh. So we got rid of somebody. We brought in somebody that was already in the building. Did that help us out? Did that move us any closer to where we want to be? I don't know. We'll unpack it in a little bit and find out. I think even after we unpack it, we still won't know what the hell is going on because I'm pretty sure they don't know what the hell is going on. But nevertheless, we're here to bring it to you and talk to you about it. And let's just get right into it. Hope everybody's doing okay tonight. Please hit that like button, smash that notification bell, leave a good review. And appreciate you guys. Hope you're having a really good evening and all hunkered down. It's dropping a little bit here in Chicagoland. It's getting a little cooler. Supposed to get some rain tomorrow night. But yeah, man, at least we got a nice 60 degrees something day Sunday during the Bears loss. Yeah. So I'm not sure what the weather's going to be like this weekend. But I know what the game's going to be like against the Packers. It's going to be pretty stinky. We'll see if they still own us. Hopefully they don't. If they don't own us by the end of Sunday's game, it'll be a freaking miracle. And anybody that could tell me otherwise, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe you're trying to sell me some property lakeside in the Sahara Desert. Who knows? Anyways, no, seriously. So Coach Matt Eberflus stepped behind the podium today, and he already had his butt whooped. He was 3 and out on viral social media when Dave Kaplan had Eberflus on the phone. He says, "Coach, your cell phone is as bad as the offense right now." And that was right after the connection broke for the 3rd time during his weekly interview. It was pretty funny. It was a home run brought to you by Dave Kaplan, a guy that's been on our show before. Really good guy, really good friend of the show. Cool dude. I love him, man. Comes with a ton of energy. But Eberflus never really returned. If you guys saw it or heard it, he never really returned to finish the interview while Kaplan's commentary spread all over social media like a wildfire. I mean, it was great, man. I loved it. It was pretty cool. It was pretty entertaining, and I was proud of him, man. Home run right out of the park, walk off. Yeah, but everyone knew what was coming, right? It was just a matter of when and where. But we still had that feeling that it might not come because that's how messed up things are in Chicago. It's like, it's coming. You don't know when. Are they going to wait to the end of the year? Like, what the hell's happening? And it's just a big shit show, honestly. But so the Bears fired offensive coordinator Shane Waldron today on Taco Tuesday. And they replaced him with Thomas Brown, the team's passing game coordinator. Well, the passing game has stunk, right? So let's unpack this really quickly. What the hell are we doing let's just answer this right away. Who's available right now? Who the hell is available right now that wants to take this hot, steaming pile of poo on their hands and say, well, you know what? I'm going to hitch you to my wagon because guess what? At the end of the year, I might be gone too. I might be that fall guy that goes with you. But we'll see. Let's pack and see where this guy's from, the who, what, when, where, and whys, and let's make some sense out of it. Let's see. We got some comments real quick before we get any further. What's up, Bruce? Bearski film. Yeah, man. Bear down. What's up, B-Dog? B-Dog in the building. Brown. Brown says he's going to be fired after the Green Bay game. Are you talking about Thomas Brown, I figured there'd be some preferential treatment there with the name, although he spells his name different than yours. He probably spells his name wrong. He probably spells a lot of things wrong, because after we get into it, you'll see that he's quite possibly not really ready to save this ship. Okay. Hey, Bearski, thanks for the for the offer. I appreciate that. What's up, Eugene? Eugene in the building. Breaking news, Bruce. Always breaking news and cutting loose, foot loose. All right, so yeah, back to it. The team games passing coordinator. The move itself is far from surprising. Rookie quarterback Caleb Williams, our dog, our boy, our survivor, our savior, but now he's a survivor because he's still there in this wrecked ship of wreckage, of rubble. I mean, dude, he is him. Number one, -1 now. Everybody wants to kick this kid out of town and bring up the backup quarterback. Well, maybe not everybody, but it's like, okay, I feel like half of us are divided in this, like, it can't get any worse, right? And some of the other people are like, hey man, let's save the kid, against this horrible offensive line. He's gonna get killed. It's a little bit of both, I feel. We'll unpack that too. We're getting a little ahead of ourselves, so let's back her down a bit, So check this out. Paris. Paris, dude. I hope he ain't worse than Shane. Bro, I got some news for you. Listen up. It's in my notes. And you make heads or tails of it, okay? Yeah. So again, Caleb ranks 28th in traditional passer rating, 30th in QBR, 32nd in completion percentage, and 33rd in sack percentage, and 30th in adjusted net yards per attempt among qualified quarterbacks. Woo! Wow. I mean, dude, there's already people right now putting bags over their head that say fire Eberflus. And they are cheering and booing at the freaking mountaintops at Soldier Field saying, get rid of this guy. I mean, it is something that has to be done. It is something that has to be done. Now, to my knowledge, it's never been done yet in the middle of a season. And usually they wait till towards the end of the contract or the total end of the contract to cut loose. The only guy that I could think of where they cut loose early that really I wish was still here is Lovie Smith. And we all know his record was 10-6. And I'm not even sure we've got 10 wins since Lovey's been out of the building. I know we have. I'm just saying. I'm being a smart ass right now, okay? Because it's been bad. It's been really bad. I mean, I go back to my co-host, Jim Miller. Love the guy. 13-3. It took 2 first-round quarterbacks, and they still haven't reached a 13-3 season collectively together throughout the course of now 4 years. So I don't know, man. Hopefully we can get back on track. Let me get back on track. Let's talk about this, okay? Yeah. Someone has to go. Firing Waldron is the obvious move, but there are so many layers to this. So let's discuss it. I want to start with this, guys. It's just fitting this by all means. It happens to happen during the week that the Bears are playing the Green Bay Packers at Soldier freaking Field, man. The game that has to be won. What the hell? Come on. Now, I don't think it moves the needle either way. Again, something had to be done, but Green Bay just puts a little bit more stink on it, in terms of like how bad we need to win this freaking game, man. Oh, I can hear the boos already, fellas. The Packers are coming off this bye week with extra time to prepare themselves for Sunday, while the Bears are firing their offensive coordinator. We fired our offensive coordinator after 9 games and seemingly wasted day of game prep through the process that Eberflus couldn't stop talking about on Monday. Remember that walkthrough the week before where we're just going to walk about it, talk about it, and not really actively practice? Well, what did that do for us? All we've got to account for that is just a bunch of field goals and no damn touchdowns, okay? The Bears had to fire Waldron, right? But Brown isn't exactly in viable position, dude. He's not really all that. I'm going to tell you right now. But fortunately for Brown, what could be worse than scoring 3 points against the last place Patriots? What could be worse? Scoring no points? Scoring 0 points against the Packers? We hear all the time about this being a cutthroat business, right? But sometimes the Bears are just too nice, man. I think that's the problem. We're just the Care Bears, the lovable Care Bears, you know? But we don't care about our damn team, do we? We care about building a stadium that a lot of people are talking about not sitting their butts in and packing and getting all these, tickets and stuff, right? So why are we so worried about freaking moving right now and moving what we have right now to another? Like that's going to all of a sudden make it better? No, you're just putting lipstick on a pig, dude. It's still a pig. I don't care. Miss Piggy, it don't matter. You're still a freaking pig with lipstick on you. Stop it. But, you know, I wonder if this is an example of what the hell is going on. And it could be to their detriment, honestly. You know, this is not what Eberflus wanted to do. I know that, but there's also the factor of general manager Ryan Poles. I know Eberflus didn't want to cut his guy after 9 games. It makes him look bad. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. So, man, I'm sure they were working to find a solution, right? But this is historically bad offense with a historically, in Bears terms, talented group of individuals. When is the last time you guys seen a talented group of individuals on the offensive side of the ball, minus the offensive line? We won't even unpack that because you guys know how I feel about the freaking offensive line. I'm not more like Roman Catholic when I talk about offensive line. I'm like Pentecostal, man. I get wild and crazy about my offensive line. And right now, I ain't too happy about them. So I'm trying to calm down, okay? Got to just get through the show. But something's got to change, man. Brown is highly thought of. He seems like the type of person who would always be prepared for something like this. And I imagine his experience in Carolina helped. I mean, you all know he took that on, right? And that was quite the experience, though. I mean, seriously. Now, Brown did leave the Los Angeles Rams to be the Carolina Panthers offensive coordinator last season. The Panthers, of course, took you-know-who, Bryce Young, who barely can see over the freaking, the line of scrimmage. He's not really that tall. Not that that's a strike against him, but I'm just trying to make heads or tails of whether he can even be a bona fide NFL quarterback at this point. Or did they just take all his weapons away and not give him anything to freaking grow and mature, But the whole season was a disaster when he was there, man. Brown took over play calling duties from former Frank Reich. You guys know how all that went during the season before Reich took them back, Reich was eventually fired after a 1-10 start. Brown surely learned some hard lessons there, right? He has 8 games to fix the offense and to get Williams back on the right track. So and to get him back in with this development, I mean, it just feels like he's just falling apart at the seams right before our very eyes. The easy part of the freaking Bear schedule is over. I mean, in terms of that. Now, we all know that when we play our interconference North, NFC North, We know more about them than anybody else. We don't know a whole lot about the AFC. We don't play them a lot. We only have so much time to prepare for those fellas, and then it's game time, right? So that's also, to be understood. I mean, my grandpa told me, like, the year that the Packers won the Super Bowl with Favre, the Lions were like 3-13 or something. One of those wins was against the Packers. So interdivision, any given Sunday, things can happen. And I know that gets overlooked right now because we all look at the record of the rest of the NFC North, and it's pretty dang impressive, except for us right now, right? So again, as they say, the easy part of our schedule is over, air quotes. Brown has a much better complement of weapon to work with on his offense than he did with Carolina. I think we can all agree with that, right? But the remaining schedule is freaking daunting, guys. Here's how the next 4 teams on their schedules rank in opponent. Let me get to my notes to look at this here. Schedule ranking opponents, passer rating allowed. 12th for the Packers, 5th for the Vikings, 1st for the Lions, and 6th for the Niners. Oh, and the Vikings lead the league in takeaways, followed by the Packers and Lions. That is going to be a difficult task when you have no protection, no offensive line, right? The 49ers are 9th. So what does that tell you? The opposing defenses are tougher. That's what it tells you. The question is, can Brown's play calling and leadership help them get the most out of the quarterback and the receivers around him? I don't know. Let's see some of the comments out there, and we will circle back here in a second here. V-Dog says, I don't know if you watch Scoop City with Diana Rossini and Chase Daniel, but she said this morning, no quality OC wants to come here in the back half of the season. That's true. That's very true. I will say that, but I also will say there's a lot of talent. And if you think that you're halfway smarter than these knuckleheads that are, sinking our ship right now, you might have a shot at it and you might look really good. And just think of the freaking leash they gave this knucklehead. I mean, you come in mid-season, they already know that the schedule is harder right now than it was earlier. You got a couple things in your favor, and I don't know if Caleb in this offense can look any worse than it does. It has to look better. So in terms of that, you might actually have a little bit of extra ammunition and bullets in the chamber that could potentially save your job if things start to come up on the come up. And who knows, man? Maybe these freaking players galvanize a little bit more, knowing that they saw a little bit of justice in the injustice as far as the coaching goes, But here's the problem, though. What's ahead is about more than Williams' development or what's going on with receivers DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, and Rome Odunze, the star-studded rookie that we picked up. Eberflus is hanging by a freaking thread, man, and nobody can tell me any different. He's barely hanging on right now, God, in a way, Brown is now coaching to save Eberflus' job. I don't know if he even wants to do that, to be honest. That isn't really like great, there's been so many signs of just disruption that you can't just ignore it. Veteran players should be upset, man. They should be mad. They should deserve better and expect better. Veteran players should be fired up, and you hear it, and they are. They should want change, and firing Waldron is just one of those parts. Brown is Eberflus' third offensive coordinator. 3 offensive coordinators, guys. Jeez, oh, Pete's. In 3 seasons, not to mention all the staff that happened during and after last season. There's only one coach that's left, and that's the freaking offensive line coach. Now, I'm sorry, but if there's a guy that I'm going to get rid of first, It's the freaking offensive line coach. I thought he should have been packed his bags and freaking shoelace express out of here a long time ago. Okay. That's just me though, right? Man, it might be you guys too. I'd like to hear in the chat what you guys think about that. Do you guys think that the freaking offensive line coach deserves to be the last one standing out of all those positional coaches and stuff? I'd like to hear that. Somebody please drop something in the comments. Make sure you hit that like button and leave us a good review, all right? Appreciate you. And everyone else has been shown the door except this freaking clown, okay? And the cycle continues, guys. The cycle we all keep freaking talking about continues. You know, a guy like this, I don't even know if a guy like this, the best running back to ever don a Bears uniform or any NFL uniform, I'm telling you, I don't even know if this guy who's hanging on by a thread, I dropped him a couple times in and out of the podcast, my bag and on the tables and stuff, but I still got him with me. I still got Walter. And Eddie, if you're watching, I'm taking care of your younger brother here as best as possible, okay, buddy? And Jarrett, your son, I'm taking care of him too. Man, that's a really cool bobblehead. But if the Bears fire this coaching staff, Williams will have 3 play callers in his first 18 NFL games. How do you guys think that's going to turn out? 3 play callers in his first 18 NFL games? Drop something down in the comments. I want to hear about that too. It would be the 3rd time in less than a decade that the Bears have drafted a quarterback in the first round. In the first round. Only to fire the coach after that season. We're approaching the worst freaking scenario that you could think of. And it's not fair to put everything on Brown to fix it, guys. It's really not. But at this point, I don't think we care what fair is, because everything that's been happening to us Bear fans has been truly unfair. You look in terms of next year will be the 40th anniversary of the 1985 Bears. Holy cow. 40 years, 4 decades. Jeez. That's a lot of decades, man. That's a lot of years, isn't it? Wow. Oh, man. We're approaching the worst scenario, and it's not fair to do this to Brown at all, is it? But like I said, who the heck cares about what fair is? Nobody cares that it's unfair to us. It would have been some kind of miraculous run and wins, and Williams just, performing at a high level that could make Eberflus bosses forget about the moments that led to this point, right? Could you imagine? This freaking Brown comes in like the Messiah, and we go on a freaking run, and, freaking Williams plays out of his mind with all the heat, and we go on an 8-game streak, run through the hardest part of our freaking division, the hardest defense, and our offense just flips a switch, and we just look, we look like a whole different team. I don't know if that's ever been done before. I highly doubt it. I really do. Much less just because of a, coordinator being brought up to an offensive coordinator, So I don't know, man. If Brown makes a huge difference, though, in Williams' development and puts him on the right trajectory heading into 2025, that might be his saving grace, because we've said it before. Darius has said it before. Other guys on our show has said it before. In terms of like a good season, it's more about the growth and development of our quarterback, Caleb Williams. We don't want to see him regress. Benching him right now after he went through 3 freaking play calling coordinators in 18 games, and then benching him after he's been through all this, even though he's on course to get 71 freaking sacks this season, I think that's a slap in the face and really might mess this freaking kid up. Honest to God's truth. It's just more drama. Unbelievable. But like I said, that would salvage the season if there is growth and development and we can see Williams, mature and we see things pointing north for this guy and we know we're going to get better protection moving forward, right? Regardless of any future changes. And you know what? It isn't fair. It's not fair. And I would say, if anything, any Williams improvement would salvage Brown's reputation before it saves anyone else's job. I think that's where it comes, you would say, hey, this guy did his job, but that doesn't give an excuse. And you can't make excuses for what happened before, You can't. There's no way. This season will never be forgotten, ever. And that's not good. Okay? He'd rise above the mess, He really would. Brown would rise above the mess and all of the rubble the Bears have become this season. The Bears hired Waldron over Brown, but also Kingsbury, Zach Robinson, Liam Cohen, Greg Roman. They were all interviewed and now coordinating better offenses in the NFL. That right there that's wrong. That's flat out wrong. Brown was also a head coaching candidate in previous cycles. Didn't get it, but he was still a coach, that they were looking at. So, all right, Eugene, I'll see you back in a little bit. What's up? What's up, Darius? Bruce. V-Dog has a question for me. What do you personally believe happens with Matt? You seen that report last night. Fluss is safe because George don't want a big voice in the room to go against polls. You know what? I've seen that. I've heard that, but I don't know if I believe that. I do know that seems to be the commonality, or it looks like that he doesn't want anybody that has a big voice in the room. But I will say this, Poles did have a big voice when he first came in. He said, hey, let me do what I'm about to do because it means my job at the end of it all, right? Let me hire the first in the history of ever assistant GM. Now, you all know that costs money, right? And there's a joke out there that freaking, the McCaskies look at nickels like they're the size of freaking manholes, okay? They save money. They don't like to spend money. So going out and getting a guy, an assistant GM, that already shows you that Poles has a little bit more, gumption than some of those other guys, and had a little bit longer leash, if you will, like I said, man, we talked about the Bears entering a worst case scenario, but this would be the best case scenario for the final 8 games. What if this offense takes off, guys? Williams looks like the number 1 pick we saw in London, and Brown is a galvanizing leader. Is he an option to be the next head coach? He was assistant head coach in the Los Angeles Rams. I've heard reports that he wasn't really good and he's not our savior, but, does he stick around to call plays for a new head coach? Mike Vrabel or anyone? It's still strange to talk in terms of only 16 days after the Bears were 2 seconds away from being 5-2. They were freaking 16. 2 seconds away from being 5-2. Just 16 days ago. It happened that fast. Wow. Everything is on the table for the Bears' future, guys. Everything. And there's some major decisions to be made in the next couple of months, fellas. They've done everything possible to ruin what was supposed to be a great situation at quarterback. Now they have to fix it. Starting against the Packers, who own us. Oh boy. I knew this was going to be a tough episode, fellas. So I really do appreciate it. You know, I know a couple of you guys comments are saying McCaskies are clowns and the show continues. You know, it's the same old treadmill, you know, for this team. The incompetency of the family has single-handedly ruined the legacy of George Halas. I'm reading. Nothing will change until they sell the franchise to competent ownership. Man, what about the JSN interview? He was telling us exactly what we didn't want to hear, and we didn't want to believe him, where he was just like, are we live? Are we live? Oh, speaking of which, I hope JSN gets his poop in a group, man, because he's my number 2 receiver on my fantasy, and I need him to step up, man. He's just pedestrian right now. He ain't really doing it for me. I need him to come up big, so maybe he should worry about them fantasy numbers instead of our team. But he was asked. He was asked that question, and he did answer it the only way he knew how. Not a big fan. Not a big fan. Is this live? You can't make it up, man. V-Dog says, I'm tapped in with this franchise and know the ins and outs, have made a decision one way or another as of right now. Yeah, well, as much as I could say, as much as I know, they have made a decision. They made a decision to cut bait with somebody to save face, okay? Nobody ever with that hierarchy wants to be proven wrong, okay? But what I will say this is a placeholder. If crazy things happen, they'll adjust. But as of right now, this is just a formality to save some jobs and keep some people in the building that they believe are the good old boys. That's how I feel about it. That's what I've heard about it. But I think Matt is honestly going to be shown the door. I mean, especially if this Packers games ends up terribly. And I don't even know if this team will come together for Thomas, man, for Thomas Brown. I don't know. I mean, maybe he can galvanize this team. Maybe Eberflus will keep his nose out of the offense if freaking Brown can prove that he's a good guy. But at the same point in time, he's got to know when to challenge a play. He's got to know when to call timeouts. He's got to know at every level when to be a head coach. He's proven otherwise. He's got to know how to win on the freaking road. And right now, he can't even win at home. This is bad. This is terrible. I think he's on his way out. I really do. I think in terms of we've got a lot of big things on the line right now. Kevin is looking to move us. If you are trying to sell this to the freaking, people that are season ticket holders, you cannot allow this to continue, man. Something has to change. This might be the perfect storm, or this might be the worst storm that wipes us all out. I don't know the answer to that because I'm not the one with all the answers. I just know what I hear. You know what I'm saying? But I believe he's on his way out. I just don't think it's right now. If it happens right now, stand by. And I'll be honest with you, I won't lose a wink of sleep. I might actually sleep better. And I don't like people to see, I don't want to see people lose their jobs, but there are people that lose other people's jobs. And I feel like Eberflus is starting to lose other people, or not starting to. He's been losing other people's jobs and freaking players too. And he's put freaking Caleb in danger. How dare you keep a guy with 2 minutes or less in a game where he could potentially get injured? And that last game, not the one this week, but the week before, where he came up limping, God forbid something were to happen to that freaking young man because he was in at that point. That's just terrible. Oh, I wanted to see him get more practice and repetitions in that moment, the 2 minute. Actually, up until this game, from what I've seen so far, Caleb does pretty good at the 2 minutes. So I would say let's rest his body because, you got to. I mean, I'm sorry. That's just how I feel. I don't know how you guys feel, Yeah, you're right, V-Dog. Matt is definitely over his skis, brother. Oh, wow. It's just unbelievable, man. I mean, I don't know what to say. I'm a big fan. I have been a big fan of Kevin Warren. I have been a fan of Poles. I saw some good things. We've had some real stinky GMs, and it was refreshing to see a guy come in here with his swag, with his demeanor, with the things that he did. What but as of right now, there's been a lot of bad things happening. He's allowed a lot of things happening. He, ultimately makes the final decision over all of this. And in terms of freaking looking for, talent at the coaching level and not just the player level, we need to take a good look at that too. You know what I mean? You can't give somebody a pass for everything just because they did a few things right. I agree with that, V-Dog. Some people are meant to be coordinators and not freaking head coaches. What's up, Burks? He just want to say you guys are screwed against the Packers. Go Pack. Yeah, you know what? Hey, I'll tell you what, Burks. I would say normally coming into a Bears den that you have a big sack of you-know-what on you. But honestly, you really don't need that big. You really don't need that big because you got such a big league on us, it don't even matter. I mean, seriously, what are we going to do? Care for you to death? We're the Care Bears. We're not the freaking Grizzly Bears. Unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, you guys own us right now, and we're hoping to settle the score. But I'll tell you this much. Here's what I'll tell you, Burks, okay? And I know you stepped in here, and I appreciate you, man. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. On January 5th, we are going to be live at a casino, and I'll be there with Jim Miller and quite possibly another Chicago Bear. I've had Frank Winters on this show. You can actually go back into our archives and look where I had Frank Winters live with Jimbo Covert, dude. Jimbo Covert and Frank Winters live at Bridges Scoreboard in Griffith, Indiana, bro. So here's the deal, okay? I would like to see us get back to that rivalry, okay? I think it's refreshing. I think it's awesome. I think it's freaking needed right now, okay? And I think if we beat the Packers, it gets the monkey off our back. We feel good for a minute, but we know that you guys still have a large lead and one win ain't going to get it done. I'm sorry, because at that point, as a Packer fan, you can call it luck, okay? I'm sorry. Or you guys just, played down and you played to the level of your opponent, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. There's so many excuses. You guys got such a big lead. All I'm saying at the end of the day, screw the freaking word salad, okay? You guys have freaking kicked us in the can so many times that we can't hot dog when we beat you. Are we going to have a victory moment and scream and get all excited and stuff? Yeah, but we don't deserve to say that we own you guys now or any of that kind of stuff, Hey, and I'll tell you another thing. I'm not mad at Rodgers for saying that because God, I almost cursed. Hey, listen, back in the day, trash talking was acceptable when people's feelings weren't hurt, okay? That's what happened. Remember Michael Jordan used to say that he used to talk trash to people so that he could see the best version of them? He wanted to beat you at your best version. So that way there were no freaking excuses. He dominated you, and that's how it's supposed to be. You shouldn't be like, oh, I hope this guy's hurt. Oh, I hope this guy's hurt. Oh, I hope this guy's hurt. Oh, we got a chance to win. No, man, bring everything you got. I'll bring everything I got. Let the gladiators freaking go, and we'll settle it at the end of the freaking game when we see the freaking scoreboard, okay? That's how I feel about this crap. It's just, man, and I'll tell you what, the reason why most of us Bears fans are Bears fans is because we're local. There's even people that are not local that are Bears fans, but here where I live, it's because we're blue collar. We're tough. We work at steel mills. We freaking work at, all kinds of industrial in wherever, oil refineries, we're tough. And that's what Bears used to be, man. We used to put the fear of God in people, you know? Oh, man. Anyways, man. So, anyways, like I said, does that mean that I love the Packers? Hell no, man. I can't stand the Packers. But thanks, Burks. Thanks for coming in, man. I appreciate you. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Leave us a good review. Like I said, if you don't catch any other show other than this Packer preview, oh, and by the way, we're going to have a live pregame about the Bears-Packers game at 11 o'clock Chicago time, right before the Bears-Packers game. So check that out too. But like I said, circling back January 5th, we'll have a couple celebrities on here. So anyways, yeah, man. Back to John. John says, we going to be okay. John, thanks, John. I needed to hear that, but I don't know what makes you think we'll be okay, but I hope you're right because it's not been okay for a long time. But I'm with you, John. I know you're one of our followers, and I appreciate you, buddy. Yeah, V-Dog says it's just a matter of how, because they all got the same agent representation. What do you mean, V-Dog? What do you mean? Are you talking about the coaches? Are you talking about the coaches got the same agent representation? Yeah, and Burke says he agrees Bears and Packers have the best rivalry no matter what. Yeah, like going back to Thomas Brown, man, it's very interesting because that guy, with him, he actually played and won the Super Bowl as assistant head coach. I mean, not played, coached. He coached with the Rams in 2021 when they won the Super Bowl. The following year in 2022, he was still assistant head coach and also the coach of the tight ends. So they gave him two positions. And Shane Waldron was always a step lower than him when he was there with the Rams. But we chose Waldron over, So, to me, you can go back and look at our records. I wanted Kingsbury only because it was self-serving in the sense that I'm a big Caleb's fan. My family was originally from Oklahoma. We moved to California, right? And some of us, we root for Oklahoma. Others of us root for California, college teams. I'm a USC fan. I was happy that Caleb was there. Some people actually say at work and other places that I look like the doppelganger of Sam Darnold. And I wish that was true because I might make a couple of bucks off of that. But damn it, he's a freaking Minnesota Viking. So anyways, man. So I wanted Kingsbury. And people were like, dude, he was bad in Arizona. I got news for you. I talked to some former Bears players. I talked to Doug Plank, talked to some other people. And the things right there in the ownership of Arizona ain't really all that hot, man. They don't really take care of it all and have it all together. And then, Murray gets, injured and the wheels fall off. And now it's Kingsbury's fault. You all know how that goes. Well, now look what he's doing. He looks like he's doing pretty good as an OC. He might even be a little bit better as a head coach in terms of here in Chicago. And he definitely couldn't be any worse than Eber fails, another name that comes to mind, and I know you guys probably ain't going to like this too much and I'm not really excited about the way things have went for USC this year, much less last year, but you got to understand when he won the Heisman 2 years back, 2 years removed, he had Addison Russell. He had a plethora of freaking weapons. He had a good offensive line and decent defense. And that's what kept Caleb coming. He had an impeccable record, high percentage. I mean, dude, his touchdown to interception ratio was remarkable. When this kid is on fire, it is something amazing to watch. Let me tell you. Now, that's at the college level. I'm not saying that he's going to transition over to that. I have said that, but now I have my doubts. But I promise you this, fellas. I promise you this, guys. I don't care who's behind center. They're not going to look as they do They're not going to look as good as they do right now with the freaking offensive line that we got, with the play callers that we got, with the dysfunctionality that we got. There's no way. Even Patty Mahomes, even Patrick Mahomes, you seen what happened with him this year, okay? For a little bit, I think he's corrected that, and they brought in D-Hop, right? DeAndre Hopkins, right? Man, that guy's good, right? So check this out. Even with, the draft and whatever, and the people that they've brought in, and the scoring defense that they have, the great defense that they have, top 5 in scoring in the last decade or something like that. It's unbelievable, man. I got them on my fantasy, and they're pretty decent. But Patrick Mahomes does not look the same with all those injuries to his receivers and all that, and his running back and whatever. He actually has for a while, up until I think last week, perhaps, he had more interceptions than he did touchdowns. So right now you're starting to see a kid that is actually performing bad, and his coach and his defense are helping him, stay in the game and win, right? So anyways, but that's what good ball clubs do. We're not there yet, but we have the defense and we have the special teams. Listen, we got a punter that looks like he's got a freaking drone on his foot. He could put that damn thing anywhere he wants, So I think I'm with V-Dog. I think it could get better. Will it get better? I don't know. I didn't think it would get this bad, V-Dog. I really don't, bro. I really didn't think it was going to get this bad, man. What's John saying? He's agreeing with himself, saying he was 100% on us getting Dan Quinn. He's a great head coach. Yeah, man. Dan Quinn is doing a great job, man. I didn't know he was that great, though, to be honest with you. I don't even know if Dan thought he was going to be that great, but he looks pretty good where he's at. I agree with that. Half the coaches and GMs in the league are represented by Trace Armstrong. So that's interesting. I've had Trace on my show before, and he did that for Mongo about a year ago, and that's in our archives too. Really good guy, really good interview, soft-spoken. I got a couple pictures on Facebook when my press pass, week 1, I was on the field, locker room, press conference, all that stuff. But on the field, if you guys remember, week 1 was the alumni game. He was out there, and I took some pictures of him. It was funny because, all the Golden Jackets were out there, Singletary and freaking Dent, and who else was out there? Jimbo Covert. Well, he had like this semi-golden jacket, like a mustard cut. I wish I could pull that picture up right now. It's hilarious, dude. When I show people and what I'm thinking in my head when I see that, and they're like, wait a second. They're like, oh, that's wrong, But yeah, dude, Trace, as far as, talking and stuff and being a former player, he's a good dude. I think we're talking about the same guy. Yeah. But anyways, V-Dog says you're right, John, but how ironic he's former Bears player. Yep, that's him. That's that dude. So anyways, if you guys got any other questions, comments, please let me know. I'm about ready to close the show up. I don't know. Is there a chance in hell that the freaking Bears can actually win Sunday? You guys think, let's break this down. I will share this with you guys about Brown, right? Brown came from Miami. He was a running back coach, and Sonny Michels, Michels. I hope I said his name right. I'm really well known for not saying guys' names right. But anyways, this dude, they had over 2,500 yards rushing with this dude over there. Then he goes over to the Rams, and you all know about them back in 21. They had a dual threat with Henderson and the other dude, and they ran all over the place. I mean, they passed too, but they ran, and they ran heavy, and they split the backs. It wasn't just we let a guy sit in the other guy and then, run the QB and all this crap that's happening right now. So I think that is ultimately going to be a quick change. I think Shane's always just kind of been – I haven't really done a deep dive on Shane because I was embarrassed that he even came in here to begin with. And like I said, how's Gino doing now without him? But the fact remains is I think this guy is more in tune with the running game, and I hope he utilizes that, because when you hear of terms of like Olin Kreutz and some of these other guys, Big Cat, even Jim Miller, all these guys are saying that we actually run the ball pretty decent, and the guys block like maulers. They block pretty well. We got our left tackle coming back. We got our right tackle coming back. And so we'll be at semi-full strength. It's still not going to be damn near as good as the other 32 teams in the NFL. We'll still be at the bottom 5 or something like that. But in terms of running the football, I think that Thomas Brown might actually bring us back with that. Can that keep us in the games? Maybe for a little while. Will that help keep Caleb upright? You're damn right, because all he has to do is hand that damn ball off and get the hell out of the way. And that'll help set up the pass game, man. You know, they'll start stacking it down in the box, and then he can get it off to Caleb. I will say this, too. Thomas Brown was a tight end coach. So he does and will look at his tight ends, not just to block, but to catch. So this might be a little bit better. I'm not saying it's going to be great. Don't get it twisted. I'm not trying to get in over my skis and saying that Brown is a savior, but it might look a little bit different than what we've been seeing with this freaking Waldron, dude. I was pissed. The first freaking snap, I was at Bridges. I'm watching the game, calling the game. You know, we're running the tip board, 50-50, all that, giving away a 55-inch television, you know, high fives, whatever. For the most part, win, lose, or draw, we always have a good time there. People win and go away with stuff all the time. Anything that's not nailed down to the dang freaking floor, they give stuff away, man. I've worried a couple times they're going to give away some of my podcast stuff. Seriously. But, dude, first play of the freaking game, dude. Oh, my God. Play action throw. I'm like, I thought they'd play acted me. I'm like, oh, damn, we're getting ready to run the ball. Nope. And then who gets freaking called for a like second quarter around 12-minute mark? Who gets called for a hold? Matt Pryor. Everybody's been hot on Matt Pryor, but there's a reason why he left the Colts, right? That hold was very, very costly to us, man. But that game, we were in over our head anyways. With the worst bootylicious team in the freaking – now we're the worst team in the NFL. But the Patriots, they had no reason, they probably didn't even know they were going to beat us up that bad. And, man, them boys were having a good old time at our expense. They were high-fiving, flying around like they were freaking winning something big, you know. But at the end of the day, I'm sure everybody will remind them that they still beat up on the Care Bears, and everybody's doing that this year. I mean, seriously, if you want to get your team right and you need a good tune-up, come to Chicago or let Chicago come to you. We'll get you right. Your passing game, your running game. We're like a country song, you know. They say you get if you play a country song backwards, you get your girl back, you get your job back, you get everything back, you know. You get your hair back. Except for Urlacher. Love Urlacher. We just had him on the show last week. But honestly, Urlacher, I liked you better without your hair. But whatever. Anyways, what does John say? Chicago needs to bring in DJ Moore and talk to him. Huh. What do they need to talk to him about, John? We need a good relationship with DJ. Well, yeah. And DJ needs a good relationship with us. Who are some people in consideration for the job based on your inside knowledge? Because I don't know if you heard Courtney Cronin on earlier today with Pat and Shia, but they already made a choice on Fluss that he'll be gone. Well, that's good news, man. I heard something similar to that, and I didn't want to I won't say who, but I had heard something about that. But what I do is I always put it on the shelf, and if it comes to fruition, we circle back. That even happened with Caleb. A lot of people thought we weren't going to get Caleb. A lot of people thought we were going to get Jaden. Some people even, believe it or not, thought that we were going to get we just played him, the Patriots. Drake May. So, and some people even thought he had better accuracy and that he might end up being a better overall quarterback at long terms, whatever. but they couldn't convince me otherwise. I had a feeling, and I knew Caleb was going to be here. I heard Caleb was going to be here, and then once it happened, it happened. And especially when we came out there, Chicago media came out there and visited. Something happened during that time and at the combine that everybody held close to their vest, and we just all knew that it was going to happen. So John says he does, sir. He needs to demand better from us. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah. No, he does. He does. He needs more than a screen pass. Are you kidding me? Here's the deal with a guy with DJ Moore. You can set him up at the X, Y, and Z position. He can run them all. I even think he can take the ball out of the backfield. He is an amazing athlete, and they did not use him well at all. Okay? Did not use him well at all. Okay? So I think DJ knows that. I think DJ saw that in Carolina. I think that DJ seen that here. I think DJ just had a really damn big payday, and he's happy about all that. His family settled in. I think he knows what we have in the building in terms of players. We just got to get the coaching and the staff right, okay? So John said he had tickets to the Bears-Niners December 8th, and he sold them because I don't want to watch the BS live. It sickens him. First game he'll miss. Wow, John. I honestly think, John, and I feel your pain, brother, but I think there's a couple other people that I know. They're actually selling the Packers because – they know that when they sell the Packers game, the Packers travel well to Chicago. It's not that far, and they will pay top dollar for the tickets there. So you're not the only one, John. A lot of other people are doing that too. So sad it's happened to you, though, buddy. Sad it's happened to you. I wish things were better. I don't know if you were one of the people that honestly thought that we were going to get really far with a rookie and all the different moving parts in terms of our offense. Obviously our defense, even in training camp, looked better against Caleb and company because they have been around each other longer and played with each other longer, and they're just spent more money on that side of the ball, right? Now, as far as money and draft capital goes, offense is starting to come around, but it's not going to happen right away. It takes a couple years, 2-3 years, just like it did for the defense. So did we get excited in certain moments and think that things were going to? Yes, we did, especially me because I'm a Caleb freak, But you guys hear me. I'm open and honest about it. I did not think this thing logically through. I thought 10, 11. Some people even said 12. I almost hitched my wagon at 12, but I backed down to like 10, 9, 11, somewhere around there. I even dropped down to like 8.5 or something stupid, So I was like 8 to 11. If this happens, if this happens, if this happens, So now, I mean, dude, we played the most easiest game that we could possibly play in terms of having a chance to win. When you lose that the way we did and didn't even score a freaking touchdown after we didn't score a touchdown the game before to another lackluster team, but is a little bit better. Arizona is a little bit better than the Patriots, and they're obviously better than us. But, man, it makes you really say, how much is George still involved? I'll tell you what, George is pissed off. George is not happy. George is pissed off. He does make decisions. He has the final say. I do think that there is some sort of, terms of pecking order, but ultimately they all come together and they all make decisions collectively. And I think when that happens and you have those people in the same room, that changes things. I really feel like if those people were removed from the room, that they would have a better chance at being able to use their natural voice instead of like, well, whatever I think he wants is what we should do. I think there would be less of that, But, at some point, Poles has always flipped the table and made us he split our wigs a couple times and some things that he's done, right? And you always wonder when he's just going to flip the table on us and just blow our mind and do something just miraculous, Happened last year with Sweat. Didn't happen this year with anybody. He did not blow my mind with the trade of Khalil Herbert. I don't think that made our team better this year. Obviously, when you get draft capital for next year, it says something. That says something. I think that was a message to everybody about what that was. That was the only thing that could make sense out of it. Now with Brown here, maybe we should have kept Herbert because maybe he's going to run heavy and we need that dang guy. But whatever, man. Whatever. Yeah. Because people mistake George as another Jerry Jones, got his hands in the pot and meddles with everything. I will tell you this, and I hope it doesn't go too far, fellas, but from what I understand, George is not completely on his way out, but he's not far away. And when he is removed and moves on, his brother Brian will move into that position. And from what I understand and the people that I've talked to, there are certain situations where Brian is a lot easier to deal with. And I'm sure we all have family members, brothers and sisters. We can understand and appreciate we're not all the same just because we're related and we're brothers and sisters and whatever. So take it for what it's worth. I've talked to Brian personally. I've talked to George personally, and I do feel that. I do see that. Then there is one person that I would rather talk to than the other. I'll talk to both of them, but there is one that I would definitely enjoy talking to. And you've probably seen some pictures when I was up at when I was up at the Hall of Fame with one of them, and well, actually both of them, and one just looked like he drank some sour milk or something, and the other one looked like he was enjoying his best life, you know. So I'll leave it at that. Burke says, Bears or Jets, what fan base is more miserable? I'm going with Jets. I'll have to agree with you, man, because you know what? Honestly, I thought Aaron Rodgers going over there was going to be a big thing, and they've moved some pieces around. They got a good defense. I really thought that the Jets were going to do, and guess what? They are in a position with the Dolphins stinking, but they're doing a little bit better now because they just knocked out the Rams, who are starting to come up, and they got their players back, so it's not really at full force, I don't feel. But the Dolphins and also the Patriots are off, right? So it's theirs for the taking if they want to elevate and get up in that. You know what I'm trying to say? So, yeah, I would say the Jets, man. I think they're more miserable because they know they have Rodgers. We don't. We think we have somebody that's going to develop into a really good player, and Rodgers is his, you know, icon. Rodgers is, you know, his mentor. So is Brady and all of that. That doesn't mean that he is that. You know, he actually even has more. Caleb, I don't know if you guys know this, but Caleb has a lot less football on his resume than Jaden Daniels does. Yeah, it's crazy, right? And the football that he's dealing with right now is just crazy. Burke says, have a lot of bros who are Bears fans. I tell them why you are doing this to yourself. Yeah, I wonder that myself too, Burke. I think it's because we like alcohol and we like the, you know, here's the deal. When you got good friends and you got good kinship and you can have a good time, you don't even let the Bears, for a little bit, it stings, it sucks, but you don't let it ruin your day. You're around your bros, man. You're around your sisters. You're around your bros. You're having a good time. You're watching football. We're all going to miss this. In a blink of an eye, the season's going to be over, and we're going to wish even the sucky football was back. As much as we wish it was gone now and the pain is over, it's going to be more painful, and we're just going to be like, why are we getting so excited about watching Caleb in his shorts throw cool balls when we don't even know if it's going to matter to anything once the regular season starts? You know, we'll still be wanting that moment, you know, because we'll want to get back in with football again, you know. So that's what it is, you know. As stinky as our team can be, Burks, we still get together and we still enjoy the camaraderie and we still have a good time, man. And that's what we're about. V-Dog says, agreed. Ryan Poles has had some misses for sure. Yeah, he has. He's had some big misses. He's had some big hits too, but hey, man, what GM out there besides the Packers? Because they at one point, I think they had 37 players on their team, and most of them starters that they drafted, that right there is what you got to do. That is a way to build a franchise through the draft. Excuse me. And I think we're doing that. I just think we should have addressed the offensive line first and the trenches first. Look at what Detroit did. Detroit went out and took care of their trenches, and you're seeing since 1952, they have not had a record as good as they do right now. They are the team to beat. They are, what did he say? What did the kneecaps coach say, Dan Campbell? He says, we'll hang around with you until we whoop your butt or something like that. I mean, I'm not doing him any justice by paraphrasing it. I hope somebody can pull it up or knows exactly what he said. But it was cool. Anything that this guy says is cool. And I believe it too, you know. I don't think he's blowing smoke. I think this guy is the real deal. And whatever he says, it's not just like somebody from the government or something just blowing smoke at you, just saying really nice word salads to, I really think he means this shit. Question real quick. What role does Pat McKenna or Scott Hagel have? Because when those convos always come up, Kreutz always points to them as well. What do you know? Well, I will tell you this. About Kreutz, man. We could have a really good offensive line mind in the building. And if you go back and you look at our archives, sorry, man, I keep doing these freaking shameless, plugs and all, but we are on the show, right? Go back and you look at Olin Kreutz. I interviewed him last year up at Bridges Scoreboard in person. He was up there, and he basically said, and I quote, that the Bears only offered him $16 an hour as an offensive line consultant. Now, you want to tell me that a fry cook is going to make the same as Olin Kreutz, who now is actually a nominee for the 2025 Hall of Fame class? You want to tell me that that's where we value our offensive line? And it's all about culture. So there's something broken there. And I want you guys to really think about that, okay? Really think about what the hell that means, because don't think that they don't not value other things that are important also, or undervalue. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. I don't know if they're holding polls, making specific moves. I don't know about that. That's the first I've actually heard about that, man. I'd have to go back and listen. To that. Yeah, that's pretty interesting right there. Burke says, I think the Bears will be good once you fire the entire coaching staff. You know what? You're not alone. Being a Packer backer, you're actually not alone on this one, bud. We actually can agree on something right now, buddy. V-Dog says, I'm saying to do those two individuals meddle in decisions, making two, he always refers to them when making big decisions. I would trust Kreutz, man. I really would. Don't take what he says lightly. That man is not afraid. He's not shy of saying, and he's not just going to throw stuff out there that's not true. That's not who he is, man. He's got a big family. There was some really bad stuff happening in Hawaii. I don't know if you've heard him talk about it with his family, where they're from out there. He went and took care of that stuff, donated, did all a bunch of stuff, and really good dude, man. Well, not a guy that you want to piss off. And I was worried about pissing him off during the whole interview, not, maybe getting a stat wrong or saying something the wrong way. Because when you talk and he gets passionate, he starts pounding the table like this. And my camera and my computer was shaking, and I'm like, oh, no. I'm like, I'm not just worried about my camera. I'm worried about my face, But no, really nice guy, man. He came out, helped us out, and was there. It was a good interview, great interview, solid dude. And me, I played left tackle in college and semi-pro, and I was just eating it up, man. Him, Jimbo Covert, and Jay Hilgenberg. Those are probably my three guys that all the offensive line. There was a point when I first started this, right? And everybody was like, I noticed that you keep interviewing offensive linemen. Is there some sort of, preferential treatment going on here? And I'm like, you think? Which leads me back to what I always say about freaking Ryan Poles and Ian Cunningham. Why in the hell don't we have the best offensive line in the history of ever? Come on, man. Seriously. You both played offensive line in the NFL. We should have nice things. We should have the best insurance. You go out and get your nice Jeep. You go out and get your nice vehicle, big pickup. I'll tell you what. I interviewed, what's his name? Cairo Santos. This dude, small guy. Most kickers, are small. Punters are a little bit bigger, especially guys like Pat McAfee that wrestles and stuff. But, dude, Cairo Santos was small. There's this big ass Raptor, Ford Raptor come in, what's that guy's like $100,000 truck at least, comes in beautiful. The freaking, it looked like a transformer. The stairs underneath it go, and then he opens up the door and he looked like Lord Farquaad, dude, on Shrek coming down off his horse, and his men are like helping him down. And I'm like, man, that's a badass truck. He just got that contract and all. Really nice guy, though. Brazil, first time ever, I think, kicker in the NFL from Brazil. Super nice dude. He didn't want nothing on the business side. He just dove right in, was all about the fans, made some really special moments. Really super cool dude, man. Really super cool dude. Yeah, John says that's sad that we don't have Olin in the building. I'm telling you right now, man, if I had any say in it, I would have Olin in that building at any level. I know where I want him at in terms of I want him as our offensive line coach. I don't see him being any different, and I could see him being elevated at some point in there. But then, big voices, that might be something to do with it. Someone said earlier in the show that they don't really like to have big voices. He's a big voice. He's a really big voice, Yeah. So normally O-line stay with the team they get drafted to. Agreed, brother. Agreed. Couldn't have said it better. Could not have said it better. Cam Robinson, I kept telling my boys about Cam Robinson. I listened. Some of these guys that you just heard that we interviewed, they were talking about Cam still having some left in the tank, 32 years old, just kind of in a bad spot with the Jaguars, but still a good, verifiable left tackle. Bikiat, how do you say his name? Bikatari? I know he's had some injuries and all that kind of stuff, but I wonder what it would be like just to have him come in the building and try him out. I liked him when he played with the Packers. I thought he was good. He could definitely down a beer, and he made Aaron Rodgers look like a punk when they both had that chug at the NBA game. Remember that? But no, I like that dude, man. I'd say, hey, man, bring him in and try him out. Maybe even give him a position on the bench somewhere, and let's see what he can do as long as he clears physical. I mean, dude, what we have in the building is worse. Come on. If anything, his veteran leadership might teach people how to actually put hands where they're supposed to do, freaking dip your hips and freaking drop your butt, anchor down and push off, and all those type of things that you need to know about fundamentals of being an offensive lineman. A lot of that stuff goes out of the window. I'm here to tell you guys, when I went up against guys that were D1, D2, I mean, this is at a lower level, okay? So don't get it twisted. I'm not even comparing, but it is football and it is competition, right? When I went up against guys at higher levels, that speed made my mechanics and everything that I know go out the freaking window because I was struggling. I was struggling to keep up. I was always at a deficit. And you would have never thought that I ever played offensive line in some moments. When I had time to regroup, when I had somebody in my ear helping me get back on track, saying, do this instead, counter this, push off first, win the point of contact, come at him like you're run blocking all the time instead of just pass blocking because he's stronger, bigger than you. Then now all of a sudden he's taking a step back and he's got to recover. All these kind of things that people will help get in your ear make a difference. You know what I'm trying to say to you? So a guy like that, I don't really know if we have that veteran leadership in the building, kind of like almost like a coach on the field, you know. But yeah, back to your point, V-Dog, I absolutely wish we had Olin out there. Absolutely. 100%, man. 100%. I do think there's a chance that Ron Rivera comes back as a DC but you know what? I wonder if Ron wants to just be a head coach. And I don't know, do you guys know if he's doing anything? I did find out something the other day. I called, what's his name? He used to play for the Bears. He was a coach for the Bills and a coach for the Vikings, defensive coordinator. Leslie Frazier. I called him and I asked him to make an appearance. I was going to get him paid, right? And dude, he was like, I'm coaching Seattle, bro. I can't make it out. But he's like, let me know. Let me know once the season's over. I'll pull up and do something for you. But right now, he's working around the clock, you know? So, but yeah. So there's some people that I don't even know that are doing stuff out there right now, you know, until you talk to them. But yeah, Leslie's out there coaching in Seattle. I would like to see the riverboat out here, man. Why not? I wanted Singletary. Didn't you guys want Singletary? I thought what he did, and did you guys know that when Patrick Willis was at the Hall of Fame, he was walking around with Singletary? That was his guy, dude. That was his mentor. That was the guy that told him what he needed to hear to unlock his greatness. That's pretty cool, man. That's what I thought Singletary had, and I knew as a coach. But then he got ran out of San Fran for what I feel was the wrong reasons. And I mean, dude, when Willis brought him to the greatest, to the crescendo of his entire career at the biggest point, and says, Singletary is my dude. And Singletary is a forever Bear, but he had his moment in the Niners as a coach, and that's who he chose. That was pretty cool, man. In my book, that was cool. These young fans don't remember how good Olin was. He was our quarterback when he had no – dude, bro, seriously. You guys listen to what John just said right now. Offensive line is crucial. You can't play musical chairs on a fucking Titanic. The ship's going down regardless. But what you can do is help galvanize these guys. I'm telling you right now, if I'm playing left tackle, and I'm just coming out and I'm learning, I'm a greenhorn and I'm learning, but I've got all the talents of physicalities. Guys, I'm 6'6". I was like 230. I had to bulk up a little bit, you know. They're like, hit the buffets and all this stuff. And the coach kept putting me through and the weights and all this. But the guard next to me, he was from William and Mary, and I listened to, man, and the center was even better than him. The center is in the middle, right? He reads the defense, tells us what's coming. He even helps the quarterback out. The dude does a lot of stuff, man. He doesn't just hike the ball, pop up, and then start blocking. It's not that at all. I would never trade my place in a million years, even if I was 6 inches shorter and 6 foot tall. I would never trade my place with the freaking center. That dude is the dog. He is the middle linebacker. He's the Mike. He's the freaking alpha of the offensive line. He runs it. And if you've got that dude in Olin, he's going to tell the Roberto Garza, you know, the Brown, whoever. It's going to get to the far end, and everybody's going to communicate and talk to each other. You're going to know your role assignments, and you're also going to know your weaknesses. I might be a little weak on the inside. So now my guard, he pushes off, takes care of his containment, comes out and helps me block over here. So now I got a little bit of extra help. You know, he's pulling double duty, but he knows that if something comes around the end, I got that covered, and it's worth it. When you start moving guys around and guys say, hey, how about he moves from left tackle to right tackle, or Tevin Jenkins moves over to right tackle, left tackle, you don't want that. Sometimes you have to have it, okay, for a minute, but you want people to stay where they're supposed to be at. And you want it like hockey. You want line changes. You want your whole starting offensive line to stay together. You want another, second string all to stay together. That is where we need to be at, boys. That's one thing I will agree with Eberflus on. His thing is by committee. He likes his defensive line swapping out. He likes guys to stay fresh, and he likes a lot of by committee. I will agree with that one part about Eberflus, man. One part. Remember last year, Pat McAfee said that Eberflus is that dog and that we're going to love him and all this and that. I think they loved him a lot more in Indy than we love him here, to be honest. So, what's John saying, man? Oh, no, V-Dog says, question, Brandon, how is McCaskey's reputation viewed around football circles based on all the context you know? Because Sylvie mentioned nobody wants to come here as a notable coach. No, listen, on the hierarchy with the owners and stuff, the Hall of Fame or whatever, everybody loves the McCaskeys, okay? On the way down, I think it's because of the presence and the reputation and how long they've been around and the fact that we've been to 2 Super Bowls in 40 years. That's the part that stings, right? And that not being able to really have your voice. I think we can all agree that that's what a lot of people and what V-Dog's kind of pointing at. We all pretty much know that, you know. John, trying to keep up with you guys, man. You guys got some great questions. Thank you, V-Dog. Thank you, John. Olin did it all and stuck up for the bums when we had a QB. Yep, he did. He always does. He still does to this day, V-Dog. John. V-Dog says, Mark Silverman of Waddle and Sylvie always been credible on the Bears beat since I was born in 1996. Yeah, man, they are. I've had Waddle on. You guys have seen Waddle on my show. He's been at, He's been up at the tailgate for me. Now this year, his daughter got married, and now he's a grandfather. His grandson's name is Tom. And he's really enjoying that role, and he's trying not to bite off more than he can, handle. So maybe next year we do more with Tom, or in the off season I can get him on for an interview or something. But good dude, good solid dude. And what would Sylvie be without Waddle? Probably just Mark. I don't know, but yeah, good dudes. John, I'd love to be on a show sometime. Love your network, brother. Hey, we love you too, John. I think we've actually asked you about it because you're one of the ones that really pay attention. We see what you put out, and we think you're pretty good. Now, I will say this. It is a little different when you get on the camera. Not that what I do special, it's not rocket science, but I have came a long way. I think that you guys have been with me for a while. You guys have seen that repetition leads to retention. It wasn't easy. I don't know if you guys remember my first show, and I hope I deleted it, but it was hilarious. I was in my freaking garage, and I had a cheap phone, and I had it sitting on my city trash can, and it fell down. Mind you, I had one viewer, and I was only filming from Facebook Live. Now we film from all different types of broadcasting, right? Not just YouTube, not just Facebook, Spotify, all that, So check this out. I'm like 100. By the way, guys, I've lost 105 pounds. I don't know if you guys could tell that too, but it's been a lot of hard work over the year. So I'm bending down to get my phone up off the ground. I got one guy watching me. It's my first show, and I'm already nervous, and I'm trying to stay on topic, but now my topic is saving the show with the one guy. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm cut out for this, right? I pick up the phone off the ground. It sounds like I got my stomach in my mouth because I'm out of breath already. I get up. I'm like huffing and puffing. I said, hold on a second. Because out of the corner of my eye, I saw my Folgers coffee cup that has nails in it that I do all my woodworking stuff with. And I freaking use it as a backstop. And I says, don't worry, buddy. I won't lose you again. The phone's not dropping. The camera's staying on. I said, let's go. So we'll go from there. What's the old saying, from the pit to the palace? I mean, we're not in a palace yet, but we're going to be working at a casino with Jim Miller and other Bears, man. It's pretty freaking cool. And Bridges Scoreboard and everywhere else. It's a great ride, man. And I will tell any of you guys out there, the Johns of the world, anything that you put your mind to, you can accomplish. Where your energy goes, where your energy flows is where your mind goes. Your focus. You got to be laser focused, and you just got to say, even in the midst of like something crashing down, technology is never going to be 100%. You got to find a way to just overcome, and don't point the finger. If somebody else on your team messes up in technology or anything, be like an offensive lineman. Dive on that damn ball. Don't say, hey, it's your fault. You dropped it. You muffed it. Whatever. Jump on that ball like freaking Captain America jumped on that grenade, and do that for your brother, and keep the show going. The show must go on. So anyways, yeah, man, you guys could, anything that you put your mind to, you can do it. I'm living proof. I ain't nothing special. I was in the military for 8 years, carpenter union, now steel worker. Now look where I'm at, man. I've elevated. I've worked hard, and hard work pays off, And I will say this, and I know you guys have heard this before. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. That's a fact, because I've seen some people that are way more talented at me than this, and I don't know what's going on, but they need to elevate. They need to get their shit together, because they can really do some really cool stuff. I've seen it, but they just kind of are just comfortable, just kind of sitting there, So never get too comfortable, guys, John says he likes, I appreciate the comments, man. I appreciate you guys. John says, I like Fluss. I need a real OC. We need to bring in mean, tough guys that will speak up. I agree, man. Let's bring it back. Let's let it happen. Let's bring Chicago back to Chicago, It's the truth. Is there truth to what was reported this morning? People calling for Badgett from what you heard, as well as just from a different perspective. Yeah, I did hear that. I did hear that they are asking for, and I didn't get an answer to why some of the players were saying that. All I heard is that it could be possibly that they want to save Caleb, because they are worried about Caleb's safety for the rest of the season. Like we talked about earlier in the show, where I showed you guys everybody in our division, their pass rush, their defense is tougher and harder than anything that we faced, okay? And we just got sacked 9 fucking times by the New England Patriots. The New England Patriots freaking pass rush was so bad that they went out and got 𝐒𝐿, and he was being bounced around like a BB in a beer can. He's been on, look it up, before he came to us, he was on 7 different other teams. That says something about that guy. Not saying that he's not a guy that can be some sort of complimentary piece on your team, but there's a reason why a guy gets bounced around like that, okay? And yet bounced around again. He came out on that team with the New England Patriots and whatever, but 9 times. Why didn't they just let him get a full double-digit 10, Jeez, oh, Pete's, man. Eagle Fang. What up, Eagle Fang? Hey, welcome back, buddy. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Leave a good review, man. Appreciate you for coming back, Eagle Fang. Speaking of which, Eagle Fang, isn't the second part of that series coming back? Let me know, man. I'm excited. I hope it is. Did the Bears give up on Caleb Williams already? Not a Bears fan, just wondering what's going on. I don't think they've gave up on Caleb. I do think he's playing some really stinky football, and I'm not quite sure with the play calling and the offensive line, anybody else could do any better. Not saying that some of those off-target passes were not his fault, but if you guys do remember, even the sheriff, Peyton Manning, struggled, and he had the record for most interceptions, which he's hoping that Caleb or anybody else of these rookies will beat. He's not. He's willing to share that one. I'm good on Cam. I do Bears podcast. All right, John, make sure you freaking inbox me, man. We're on Facebook too. Chicago Sports Podcasts. Make sure you inbox me, man. Hit us up. Also, hold on. You can leave me a voicemail and your number on our company phone because we have a new bag, a new mail bag. I don't know if you could see that. 256-1424, okay? 256-1424. That's a Chicago number. So check it out, buddy. Let's do it. Let's get you on, man. You sound like you're excited. I'm excited. You're excited. Let's do this, man. Chicago Sports Podcast. I'm on my diet myself. I've lost 160 pounds in 8 months and counting, going for month 9 now. Congrats. Congrats to you, bro. You lost a freaking official, another human being. Let's go. Hold on. Let me get the virtual clap out, dude. You deserve that one. Let me get it going. Where's it at? Where's the clap? Where's the clap? Applause. Here we go. Yeah, buddy. I tell you what, I love sharing the stage with everybody. I don't know if you guys noticed, but on Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, I share the stage. Even during live shows, I share the stage with other people. I'm really enjoying the show with you guys. This is something I miss. This is my grassroots. I think I'm going to start doing this more, man. I really miss this. I love the connection with you guys. You guys are really good. And I will put this, and I know that the dude from, from Green Bay is probably still listening. But here's the deal. I will take our fans over any fans anywhere, man. They're very intelligent, and they have to be because we lose all the damn time. We got nothing else better to do than freaking look at facts and look at football and see what the hell's going on. Thanks, John. That means a lot, dude. Don't say anything more. You don't want to see the waterworks, okay? I'm a messy crier. Sylvie said 4 to 5 players called for. Yes, that is accurate. Yep. Chicago Sports this Friday is Cobra Kai Season 6 Part 2. Let's go! Yeah! Oh, yes! That's awesome. Part 2. I'm also watching Part 2 of Outer Banks. So they're going after some big time jewelry there, man. Unbelievable. It kind of reminds me of Goonies. That's why I'm kind of stuck with it. That and them kids ain't really kids no more either. Subbed, by the way. Looking forward to learning about your team from your perspective. Thanks, man. Appreciate you. Did Eagle Fang say what team he reps? I forgot. I know you were on here before, bro. Solid name, by the way, man. I love that. That's great. Say the number one more time. Thank you for the clap. Dude, that is impressive. Somebody else better be clapping. Let's get some clap emojis out there, some thumbs up or something. 169 pounds? I don't know if I've ever been close enough to somebody, even virtually, where I've heard somebody lost 169 pounds, you know? I was like 397. Now I'm sub 300, you know? And I'm kind of floating around there. If I dial it in more, I'm going to get better results, and I need to do that. But I'm kind of enjoying being in that little, thing right now where I'm not, gaining, but I'm just kind of playing it safe, But I know what to do. I know how to keep losing, Trust me. Let me see here. I'm going to pull up that number for you once more time. Give me 1 second, bud. 872-256-1424. Let me just type it in here. 872-256-1424. Yeah, leave something in the mailbag, guys. I'll play it on the air or off the air. If you tell me your number, then, I'm not going to share that with everybody. We are on Facebook, so you can inbox message me that way under Chicago Sports Podcast. My name is Brandon Trax Hyatt. You can find me on that also for those type of inquiries. I'm out in person. I'm on Soldier Field. I'm in with the people. I'm at all these different places and all of that. Did I put up the picture of me at the casino? Look at this, guys. Look at that big old chair I'm sitting in. They toured me around like I was somebody. It was cool, man. It was cool. Oh, it was a great casino, man. Really good people. Then they've got so much energy. I love the vibe there at right there off of Halstead and Homewood, Flossmoor area, man. Really cool. Wind Creek Casino, man. Go check them out. There we go. That's the number. As a job, I've been doing this as a hobby. It's not official job. It's really that sweet spot right now, V-Dog, where we're really going to take off. And that's going to be coming right around December, January. So right around the corner. So it's kind of cool right now where everything's at. But it's still super busy, if you know what I mean. So it's fun. It's fun, man. Jets. V-Dog said I should do more solo shows. Jets fan, we share a common thing with our teams, the dysfunctional. Yes, but Eagle fan, you and I put the fun in dysfunctional, right? The F-U-N. Eagle Fang said you were right about the weight loss. It is a mindset. I live in SWF, Southwest Florida, a month ago, and we had Milton hit the area, and now we might have another one hitting here. Staying focused and strong. Mind is key. Yeah, man. My thoughts and prayers are for you, Eagle Fang, man. I hope you make it through that, man. I've never been through that type of disaster. I've been to the Middle East. I've been through some storms. Been through some really bad, water, and hurricane type weather and stuff like that, but nothing to the devastation that you've been through, man. I'm praying for you and all the people surrounding parts of your area and stuff, man. Seriously, it's a lot to go through, man. I hope you make it out okay. And that's one thing about down there in Florida. It's nice and beautiful, but you got to keep your head on a swivel in the wet season and times when this is, coming. So, man, it's got to stop, man. It's got to stop coming. In life, you always have to overcome. Best way I can do these days is avoid watching bad football with the Jets. And Mass, bear down, baby. Hey, better late than never, man. I appreciate you. Thanks for coming at Mass. What's up, Cliff? Cliff must have just finished watching his buddy's show. Dude, this guy pulls triple, quadruple duty, man. He's always watching everybody's show, trying to help out and be supportive. Great freaking dude, man. Love the guy. Met him at freaking Canton. It was a real deal. Cliff is a real human being. I met him in person. He's not just cyber dude. He's real Cliff dude. Good dude. Yep, Canton, Ohio for the Mongo and Hester and Peppers indoctrination. Alan der Schultz, still thanks. Yeah. Is there any truth to what Deanna Miller reported 2 weeks ago that George will do a full sale sooner rather than later? And if true, are Kevin Warren and Poole safe? No, I don't believe that, man. I don't believe that. It's supposed to, the heir to the throne is supposed to be Brian, man. Why would he do that to his own brother? I don't think he's going to do that. No, I don't know about that at all, man. I think Kevin is very safe. I think he's very logical. I think he's very smart. Chris, gosh dang it. Why is it? It's Chris Zorch, Bear, former huge Notre Dame player, Zorch is really good friends with Kevin. They went to Notre Dame together. I think he was his lawyer or something, if I'm not mistaken. But they really like Kevin. Kevin's a smart dude. He actually got that lease paid 23 years early on that freaking Minnesota Viking stadium. So, I mean, I'm just like, dude, can you come do that for my house and my car notes? That would be great. No, I think he's good, man. I don't know what's going on with polls and stuff yet. Like, I hope they get it together. How did you guys lose the weight? I dropped 30, then gained it back. Bro, I'll tell you what. I just moved off my seat. I move my feet, you know. Eat more is not the key, dude. You got to move more and eat less. And that's what I did. When I was in the military in boot camp, they told me to eat the size of my fist. And it's just, you know, mind over matter, drinking a lot of water, watching what you're eating, trying to cut back them carbs big time and trying not to hit them Dairy Queens and all those sweets. Cut back on the sweets a lot. That helps, man. And just eating a lot less for sure, man. Brandon, how would you like to be the new OC in his first week having to go up against Green Bay? Cliff, we were just talking about that. I don't even know if I would want freaking Morgan's spot as the freaking offensive line coach. I mean, I would at least teach these guys how to play with heart, but I'm not sure I would be up for, you know, the offensive line coach coming up against the freaking daunting Green Bay defense. Come on. There you go, Eagle Fang. Tell him, man. Yep. Not a complete sale, but he won't be the owner no more. He's going to turn it over to his younger brother. Yeah, Brian. Brian, we were talking about that earlier in the show. John, I used keto to lose 45 down to 6 foot 180, slowly gaining it back, but I can go back on keto again. Man, I'll tell you what, Cliff, you look good. You look good, buddy. Yep. Traded DJ Moore for Mondre Stevenson. Still got Walker, Kyren, W, and Breece Hall. My wide receivers are Jefferson, Mooney, Downs, and Myers. Madison and ETN on my bench. Do I trade Stevenson for a receiver? Yeah, I would, because you got Kyren and Walker and Breece Hall. There's no need for you to have a fourth running back. You can always pick one up out of the dirty pool, bro. I would go out and get a receiver if you can. There should be some good left, even in the free agency. You might want to look at that and look at the injuries are stacking up in the league. So Sunday morning at 5:30, me and Darius will be unpacking all of that, dude. We'll have more, but I'm just here to tell you really quickly, just a quick little, tidbit. Juan Pena, I hope I said it right, bro. I know the little squiggly line, your name is more fancier than mine, so I try to keep up with it, But yeah, man, thanks for joining our show. Hit that like and subscribe button, brother. Leave us a good review. Got offered Debo and Waddle for Kit Walker, or should I counter off with Stevenson for Debo straight up? I don't know if you could get Stevenson straight up. I do like that trade that you were talking about, man. Debo and Waddle for but you know what? Now you're getting two receivers for one running back, and I would keep Walker out of all of them. I mean, Walker is your go-to running back, right? Is it just two kids, George and Brian now? Yeah, from what I understand, that's what it is. At any rate, the hierarchy, it falls to Brian, from what I have been told, from what I know. And a very good source. Very, very good source. The heat is hot there, bro. Herbert or Bo Nix for a bye week fill-in? Bro, I'm going it all depends on matchups, but I'm going Herbert, bro. I'm going Herbert. Bo's looking good, but he's not totally proven yet. But I would look at that matchup first and then look at what their projection is. I'd look at that before you make a decision. You might want to circle back Sunday morning at 5:30 where me and because Darius and I, we do our homework throughout the week. things change a little bit. Injuries, designations for the receivers who they'll be thrown to, running backs, offensive line, and their matchup. It all goes into consideration. We put it in a think tank, and I will tell you this much: don't meet me outside in the parking lot, because sometimes, like my brother always says, Brandon, you need to freaking bench your starters and start your bench. So it happens, you know. Breece Hall only has 4 broken tackles this year. He has not been the same since he got hurt. He has talent, but I think the injury changed him. But get him on a team-friendly contract might be worth. Yeah, well, no, I agree. And they're talking about fantasy, and in terms of PPR, you want to make sure you keep that, because he's a good receiving back, albeit too, Eagle Fang. So he's definitely somebody to keep in your arsenal in terms of a backup. Might not be my starter unless I have to, if guys are on a bye. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I have a waiver claim in for Herbert. Okay, cool. I noticed a lot of people are going up and down with Herbert. I seen him getting thrown in and out of the pool a lot, only because we all know what was going to happen with Harbaugh. He's run heavy, but you still need, a quarterback. So, yeah, I do agree. Waddle has little value now, but he still can break out. Still, well, and it's hard to tell, honestly, because you're just now getting Tua back. So maybe, he can show you a little something. You know what? You might be onto something with Bo. He is doing a little bit better, and he's starting to come into his own. So definitely take a look at that. Take a look at who the Chargers play. I would definitely take a look at that for sure, man. I'm a many-year platinum player on Yahoo. Herbert could actually be good ROS. Yep, I might have to keep him, have Kyler now. Okay, cool. Yeah, Kyler's a good get. Is Brian a lot different? Because I feel like what turns former players and fans off is he alienates himself from a lot of people. What do you know? I know this about Brian. Brian doesn't live right in Scottsdale, Arizona. He lives in the surroundings, right? He lives in like the country. He's quiet, kept. He likes to stay with his family. He loves his wife. He loves his close friend, who's also his agent. Good old dude like you and me. You will not believe how much of a good old boy he is, right? And he loves his son, man, who plays over there in Kennedy, plays over there in Notre Dame. Loves that guy wholeheartedly, unconditionally. And I don't know how anyone could say that Brian is a racist, in the sense that the dude's son is African American, and he would do anything for that boy, man. Anything. It just doesn't add up for me. Don't make no sense at all. But I don't want to get into all that. So that's just something that I had to share. Because I've heard that before, and it just don't make sense. It don't. The math ain't math in there. Let's see here. Get another. Like I said, Bridges Scoreboard. I'll be up there Saturday with Donnell Wolford, Top Bears 100. I'll be up there at 11 o'clock. We got a pregame show with Donnell. I'm going to be interviewing him. He played for Clemson, and they're playing Pitt at noon. So you're going to have autographed helmets that he's going to be signing, some jerseys. There's going to be some Pitt mini helmets, some Bear mini helmets, some jerseys, pictures, all kinds of stuff. It'll be a good time, good food, good drinks, giveaways. And then Sunday, just yours truly, with a couple co-hosts up there, Chicago Sports Podcast, no Jim Miller, no other Bear alumni, just us. We'll be covering the Packer game starting at 11 o'clock, pregame show. Then we're going to have in-game analysis. We're going to be doing 50-50, tip boards, 55-inch high-def Bears television giveaway, all kinds of good stuff, man. Good times, good fun, pictures. A lot of good stuff going on there. Oh, you're talking about Brian McCaskey. I thought you were talking about Urlacher. My bad, dude. No, Brian McCaskey's cool. The only time he alienates himself is he's not really alienating himself. He's very hard at hearing. He's almost deaf in one ear. So it's really hard to catch him. I've actually been on the field where I'm like, Brian. And I'm like, getting ready to take his picture because he's right over there with some other people that I know he talks to. And I'm trying to get a picture with him, Doug, and the other safety. Gosh dang it, Gary Fenzik. And I wanted to take a picture with them three. And then here comes freaking Kevin. I'm like, oh, it keeps getting better, But I had to basically pull on his coattail because he couldn't hear me, man. Now up close and personal, when I was at the Mongo party, he could hear me fine because he had that up because he was at a party. But out there on the field, he just probably turned it down or something. I don't know, but good dude, man. Really good vibes. Got a really good vibe off him. Upbeat, good person, man, for reals. Yeah, same with that. Yeah, same with that, Cliff. About as dry as a popcorn fart for sure. Yeah. All right. Well, hey, let's close her down, man. It's 10:20. I got to get up early in the morning and get out to that steel mill. But hey, man, make sure you guys hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Hit the notification bell so you guys know when we're on. We got another show coming on tomorrow night at 8:30 Central Time, Thursday 8:30 Central Time, Friday 8:30 Central Time. The only time we change it a little bit is if we have to move it up or move it a little bit back in time. If we have a Chicago Bear, alumni, celebrity or somebody like that on, whoever, Cap, Dave Kaplan, David Haw, any of those dudes, So yeah, that's about all I got, man. I think, let's just hope we can score a touchdown and be competitive and come out of there without any injuries. And hopefully these guys come back healthy. Let's hope Brisker gets a little bit more healthy. I'd love to see him out there. Let's keep Gordon out there. Let's just start, turning around. Hopefully Thomas Brown will hit the ground, pound the ground, run game, all that stuff, find the tight ends. Let's see a little bit more, let's see a little bit more of what we want to see. Let's see some Chicago Bear football. Okay. With that being said, man, be a friend, tell a friend, let them all know about us. Chi-town up, bear down, man. Be careful out there. Be careful out there, you guys, especially, you guys out there in Florida. I guess it's coming back from what I saw. So hopefully I gave you guys some good fantasy advice. Hopefully I gave you guys a little bit of hope, but also we had to vent, right? I mean, we're all humans. So, I mean, I'm just a fan just like you guys, and I had to get it off, It's more interesting that Brown is the OC against Green Bay. Waldron would have gotten creamed. Raiders interim head coach did well for several games. Thanks, Cliff. I appreciate you. Have a good one, guys. Peace.